Morning, Kevin. This is Chuck.
Hi, Chuck.
How are you? I understand that you've been paying attention to the news and you've seen the market drop and this nuclear explosion.
Yeah, that's a problem, Chuck.
Yeah, tell me what's going on.
Well, I'm down 28%, and that's in a very short period of time, and it takes me an awful long time to put the money into the market, and now it's gone.
Yeah, I can only imagine, the panic that must create for you.
I don't know if you can or not, but if you say you can, I guess so.
Yeah, I know. Grace shared with me that you were pretty upset when she took your phone call, and so what are you thinking? What's on you? What do you? How can I help you today?
Well, you got me into this. So what's the insights you have to get my money back?
Okay, good. So you want to figure out a strategy to recover some of the money that you've lost.
All of it.
Got it. All right. And what do you want to do today? Anything in particular?
I want to hang up the phone knowing that with a high degree of certainty that what I'm down is coming back very quickly.
Okay. So you want to know, you want to increase your confidence that you're on the right path, and you're going to recover what you've potentially lost so far in the market already this morning.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we take a step back and I just revisit a couple things?
Sure.
How are you, first of all?
I'm fine. Except
how about your family? Do you have any family or friends affected by all this?
Yeah. No, they're all fine too.
Okay, good, because that's the most important thing. So now let's talk about what you've got invested. Can we go back to your goals and values?
Yeah.
What were they? What were your values again?
Safety.
Okay.
And security.
Any others? Any other values you had besides safety and security?
Freedom.
Okay, freedom.
Accomplishment.
Okay, accomplishment. And why were those important, Kevin? What was important to you about those?
Because I felt peaceful and safe when all that's happening.
Yeah, so you really wanted to kind of maintain that serenity.
And 28% certainly doesn't give me any of that.
It certainly does not. I can totally understand where you're coming from. Have any of those values changed?
No, but the likelihood of them happening certainly has.
Yeah, well, it's certainly been a disruption in your safety and security. And with the money that we had invested, what were the goals that you had in mind for those funds?
Well, certainly not to be down 28%.
No, for sure. No, absolutely not. None of us could have predicted this. So what were the objectives that you had in mind? What were you investing that money for?
I'll continue to have my safety and freedom and security.
And when were you wanting that to happen? What was there a timeline, time frame in mind?
Well, I had it before I put the money in.
Okay, so you had it already, so it's been jeopardized.
Yeah.
But those goals and objectives are still, in play.
Yeah, but there's a gap now.
Yeah, absolutely there can be a gap. Now, were you invested back in 9/11?
Yeah.
2001?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us remember where we were on that day. Do you remember where you were?
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened in the market? Because it happened on a Tuesday. Do you remember what they did with the market on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Went down.
Well, they shut it down, actually.
Yeah.
They closed the market, and they opened it the following Monday. And do you remember what it did on Monday?
Probably went up.
It went down.
No.
And it went down on Tuesday, and it went down on Wednesday, and it went down on Thursday. And on Friday, it bounced back, right? And so, the only frame of reference we have in a situation like that is what we went through in 9/11. And I don't know what's going to happen to the market. So it may continue down like it has. At some point, it may bounce back. And so what we do know is we're not sure what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. So we could take all of your money out of the market. That could be one option. Are there any other options that you think would be viable at this point?
No, I really don't know.
Do you mind if I weigh in with what I think some of your options are?
Sure.
You know, you have a fair amount of money in cash. You know, because your safety and security were part of your values, we had some money set aside for any short-term emergencies in the next 12 months to make sure that you covered your living expenses. So the money that we had in the market was longer term. However, I understand your concern about where the market might head and why you might want to take the money out. Other options, if I could weigh in with what I think some other choices might be, are we could leave some of the money in and take some of the money out. We could leave it all in and not make any changes, or we could actually leave it all in and add money. So I think you got like 4 or 5 different choices there. Now, what do you think the advantages or disadvantages might be of taking all your money out of the market?
Well, be safe.
So the advantage would be if you took it all out now, you wouldn't lose any more.
Yeah.
Right? Any other advantages?
I'd have certainty.
You would know what you got.
Yeah.
Any other disadvantages?
I guess the market could go up.
Yeah, so you'd miss out on whenever the market might bounce back, if it bounced back.
Yeah.
Okay? Any other disadvantages if you took all the money out?
Well, I'd have to decide when to go back in if I was going.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking, is knowing when to get back in now becomes the next problem we create. So let's move on to the second option. If you took some of your money out of the market, what would the advantage be?
Well, some of it would be safe.
Yep, so you'd have some security. You might be able to get a better night's sleep. Anything else?
I'd still have some in the market if it goes back up.
So you'd be able to take care of any bounce back in the market. You'd have that upside.
Yeah.
Any disadvantages?
I'd have to decide when to go back in.
Yeah, at least with the money you pulled out, right?
Yeah.
You'd have that little bit of that decision. You'd have the disadvantage of if the market continued down, you might still lose some of what you have invested.
Yeah.
And what if you stay fully invested?
Well, it could continue to go down.
Yeah, number could get even bigger in terms of what your portfolio's lost. What's the advantage?
I'll be in if it goes up.
Yep. And how about the last option? What if you stayed invested and added money?
Well, if it goes down, then I'd be really pissed off.
Yeah. If it dropped even further, you could potentially have your money worth even less.
Yeah.
Any advantages?
Oh, when it goes up, it'll go up faster.
Yeah, you're buying at a lower price per share, potentially. So of these options, Kevin, what do you think your best choice is?
Not have done it to begin with.
I'm sorry?
To not have done it to begin with.
Yeah, I understand why it would be great to go back and not have done this, but in terms of where you are now, what do you think your best choice is?
Probably just sit tight.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, it's the lesser of all the evils. Doesn't change the fact that I'm down 28% though.
Yeah, can I weigh in with what I think your best option might be?
Look for a new advisor?
Well, Kevin, I hope it's not that option. I've enjoyed working with you, and certainly nobody could have predicted what's happening here, and I totally understand why you'd be upset about what's been going on. I don't think anybody would have wished or predicted this, and so I myself have felt a fair amount of anxiety and panic, not just for my clients, but for their families, for my own family, because, you know, money's important, but there's been, with what happened this morning, a big change in just even the safety and security of our lives, let alone our money. And so that's even a bigger concern, I think, for all of us. But certainly we want to make sure that our money is working for us as it should. And so what I want to make sure is that whatever we do today, you feel better about. I don't know if we could ever help you feel good about it, because it's been a traumatic event this morning. And so I don't know that you are ever able to wipe that away, but you can certainly, we want to make sure that you're feeling okay about what's going on with your investments. And so if you feel okay staying invested, we can leave it that way. We could certainly take out some of the funds and increase your cash reserves if you think that would help you feel better. I think I generally like the way you're thinking in terms of staying invested. The money that you've got set aside isn't going to be needed in the short term. You've got plenty of cash reserves, and I think the market at some point will bounce back, as it always has, and 9/11 is the closest example I can think of. So what would you like how would you like to kind of finish our conversation? What do you want to do today? What would you like me to do for you?
Well, you can't write a check and put my account back on site,
Yeah.
So I guess there's nothing more we got to talk about right now.
So you're okay with staying invested?
Yeah, so far.
I think, Kevin, that's your best choice. I know it may not feel so good right now, but I think in the long run, given how we've structured your portfolio, you take the money out, you're not going to know when to get back in. It's the next problem you'll create.